Remember how I was so happy when the Cubs won on opening day? Well, unfortunately, they lost. So that was definitely not good news for them. Definitely not good news for the Chicago Cubs. Also, the Boston Celtics won last night. We know what my thoughts on the Boston Celtics are. They're the only NBA team that I hate with a passion. And that's because they are rivals of the Philadelphia 76ers. It's highly likely that the 76ers and Celtics face off in the playoffs because if both teams win and the Bucks win, they'll be facing off against each other, assuming the current placements hold, which I think is highly likely that the Celtics finish 2, 76ers finish 3, Bucks finish 1. I think it's likely that they finish that. Maybe I could be wrong, though. Kind of would like the Celtics to not be number 2, if you get what I'm saying. And I'd kind of like the 76ers to maybe be 2. But it's fine. Actually, it's not really, because according to 538, the Celtics have a 38% chance of making the NBA Finals and a 26% chance of winning them. I do not like those percentages at all. I don't. Speaking of hockey, the Seattle Kraken are doing pretty good. I think that they're going to be in for a good season. It would be nice for them to make the playoffs on their second season, and right now they look to be locked in for that spot. Of course, it's going to be hard to top what the Golden Knights did, which was make it to the Stanley Cup Finals. They lost, but they made it to the Stanley Cup Finals in their inaugural year. I don't think anyone is going to be topping that for a while. I mean, that's a really hard achievement. People are celebrating when the 1969 New York Mets won the World Series, but that was in their 8th year. And the Diamondbacks then made it quicker. So that's all the sports news for today. Again, not a lot of good news. If you're a Mets fan, they lost. If you're a Yankees fan, I don't know. Didn't follow up with that game in the past little while. But yeah, that's how things are going right now. So you might think that that's the most bad news I could give in a video. Pretty much no matter who you are, you're unhappy. I mean, the Knicks could clinch the playoffs tonight, but the Miami Heat has to lose, and they're going up against the Dallas Mavericks, who, by the way, is who the 76ers like beat a few days ago, in case it sounds so familiar. Anyway, those storm clouds off to our west are going to be bringing in a pretty bad storm. We are on a level 2 out of 5, so a slight risk of severe weather here in the New York metro area. But if you live west of, say, 278, then you're actually in an enhanced risk, level 3 out of 5, mainly for damaging winds, but hail and tornadoes absolutely cannot be ruled out. We have chances for those. I can't remember the last time I was actually in a slight risk of severe weather, because normally storms die out over the Appalachians. But this storm is definitely dying out, considering that we at one point had a level 5 out of 5 risk, so a high risk of severe weather. In case you're wondering why the words high risk sound so foreign to you, it's because this is the first time one was issued yesterday since March 25th, 2021. There were actually only 20 tornadoes that day, but it included an EF4 and quite a few EF3s that tore throughout Alabama and Georgia in that infamous tornado outbreak. But that might seem like ancient history, considering that was 9 months before 70 December tornadoes tore across the center of the U.S. that claimed 90 lives. Or when 5 days later, December brought a derecho and over 100 tornadoes to places that have barely seen any December tornadoes at all in the upper Midwest. And then 2022 had the most active March on record. There's been a lot of tornadoes going on since then, but none of them have had high risks, only moderates. This is our first high risk in over 2 years. And you better believe it came with consequences. Right now, we're unsure of the death toll, but it's likely going to be higher. Right now, I think it's at least 17 people who have lost their lives. Keep in mind that an EF4 tornado in Mississippi had killed 16 people just a week earlier, and that total outbreak caused 22 deaths tornadically. So the 22 plus the 17 plus the 9 deaths already caused by tornadoes earlier this year. I mean, you think about that, that's like about 48 people who have died so far due to tornadoes this year, and we haven't even hit peak tornado season. There's been a lot of damage and destruction along the I-55 corridor from the storm, and some of the images out of the storm have been just frightening so far. I think I'll show you when I make a 10.1 and 10.2 chem video, some of those images out of this tornado outbreak. So just wanted to put that into everyone's minds about that. So the storm will be coming over here. So in case you're wondering, in the New York metro area, you might have realized how cold it was yesterday. Yeah, yesterday was cold. We woke up to temperatures that were about 38 in the city, but down to 29 out just near Farmingdale. And the highs in the afternoon only made their way up to 49 degrees, but we did hit the low 50s in the middle of the night as a warm front pushed through, and that's why it was rainy this morning. But it wasn't so bad. Temps largely were constrained at about 55 for much of this morning before they got to shoot up to 63 or even maybe 64 degrees. It was nice this afternoon as it finally dried out, but the intense sunlight put a lot of energy in the atmosphere, and that's going to mean that when these storms slam into here, they're going to have more energy. Temperatures will downfall rapidly. Right now, it's currently holding at 59 degrees as I make this video at 6:53 p.m. It's currently holding at 59 degrees. It's going to drop like an actual rock. It's going to make its way down to 50 degrees by midnight, and it's actually going to be windy and about 38 in the morning. So we're going to experience what could possibly be, like a 27 degree temperature drop if all of this verifies. Now, I'm not saying all of it's going to verify. What I am saying, though, is that we could go from being in the mid-60s to the mid-30s. It's definitely possible. Although we might only wind up in the upper 30s. We're only going to hit about 50 degrees tomorrow before temperatures continue to fall. And we will be at the freezing point Monday morning. It'll be the April 3rd in a row that has anomalously cold temperatures. And again, we will be seeing that happen. We will be seeing the cold make a comeback, but then it's going to warm up pretty quickly. We could be in for a temperature yo-yo. In case you're wondering, March's weather was just so bland. I mean, Typepad New York City did not make a single update, and I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't publish a monthly recap about this month at all. I would not be surprised. There's just nothing to talk about the weather in March 2023. This could bring something, but I'm not counting on it that much. Speaking of which, I haven't actually looked at the Farmingdale weather too much. I mostly discredited it by this point, but I look at it sometimes. Yeah. Oh, and by the way, I do have bad news to break to you. This is going to be the second to last YouTube video ever uploaded to my channel. Yeah, the chem video I'm going to make where I show you the images of destruction, and that's going to be my last video ever uploaded to this channel. April Fools! You knew I was going to pull an April Fool's joke on this channel. And I really hope this video actually uploads on April 1st and not on a day that isn't April 1st. You know I can't ever quit YouTube. It felt good to do that.